to be able to welcome all of them. Okay, start over.
Thanks.
Hello, my name is Don Sudduth, and it's my pleasure to welcome you all to June 2022 Not Church this morning. And if you're here for the first time, we're happy that you found us. And we hope that if today's experience resonates with you, that you'll come back and join us. It's the second Sunday of every month is the, for the time being, the Zoom meeting for Not Church. Everyone is welcome, regardless of your religious or non-religious ideas, thoughts, expressions, words, but this is a safe place for you to learn and to grow through actual conversations and experiences. Not Church was formed more than 11 years ago by a group that recognized the need for a church, but without the dogma and imposing preset ideas. But it was formed here in Baja, and then it evolved into an all-inclusive go-to spiritual home for those of us that are looking to lead our best lives. The pandemic then forced us into Zoom, and the Zoom, of course, spread us to the rest of the world. But we're a caring community of like-minded people and are delighted that you're here. This message for June is, I'm told, embracing age. And speaking of age, I'll be 86 in a couple of months. And so if this entertaining and motivational meeting inspires you and you're looking for some old person to embrace, I could be the one. I'm hoping for many, many more embraces. And I welcome you all to today's Not Church.
Thank you, Don. You look amazing. I would never have guessed that. Yay. Thank you, thank you. So now we're going to have Yella lead us into a meditation.
Thank you, Beatrice. Thank you, you and Rose, both for asking me to do this. It's always just an honor to get to address this wonderful Not Church group. And I'd like to ask everybody at this time to just close your eyes and take a deep breath. Now take another one. And again, exhale slower. And as best as you can, release all thoughts of the future. Best as you can. Let go of any chatter about what needs to be done in the future or imaginings of what the future might look like. Just bring your attention to right now. And as best as you can, release all thoughts of the past. Let go of any chatter about what happened, how it made you feel, and just bring your attention to right now. Right now, you are here. Now look and see what else is here. Notice any sensations or emotions. Notice your mood. Look and see what else is here. What is here right now? Is it welcome here with you? Can you allow it, whatever it is that's here, to dwell with you here? Even if it's nothing, can you allow nothing to dwell here with you? Maybe what's here keeps changing. Can you allow the changes to be here with you? Can you feel the changes moving through you? Do you give permission for the movement and changes inside you? Do you allow access to the experience that's arising and presenting itself right now? Try giving permission now, even if it's just for a moment. Allow access to whatever experience is arising right now. Try again. Allow the experience of this moment to arise unobstructed. Offer no resistance and just give permission for each moment and each experience to arise as it comes up. See if you can embrace it as perfect, even with all its flaws. Can you see this moment as perfect? Take some time now to watch the experiences arise and fall away, and then arise and then fall away, with no resistance to the changes, no resistance to the rising and falling. Feel the moment undulating, turning into a dance, allowing the arising, the falling. Notice how your experience can change moment to moment, and yet you remain. Notice how you stand the same regardless of the changes that are moving through you. Think of the changes that your body has experienced and see if you have changed. Remember looking out at the world as a child. Your body was different than it is now. The world was different than it is now. But you are still the same one that was looking through that child's eyes. Recognize that same one that is inside right now. Can you remember the many different experiences that you've had in your life, and yet still recognize that one that lives inside unchanged? Can you recognize that one that feels each experience, looks out into the changing world, and yet is still the same one? Can you see that one has always been here? Here. Can you feel the presence of that one? Take a moment to inquire, what is it that has remained the same through the years of experiences? the same one that looks out into the world regardless of changing body, changing mood, changing circumstances, changing attitudes and beliefs. The world continues to change. What doesn't change? What remains? Look and see. Now, allow that unchanging one to fully embrace you as you gently bring yourself back. Know that one stays with you always. Gently keep coming back. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes.
Thank you. Oh,
Yella, that was wonderful.
Oh, thanks, Anna.
It was
Thank you.
just beautiful. I had the opportunity this week to do a workshop that was led by a friend of mine, and one of the ideas that we embraced was the original self, our original settings, you know. Like, and so this was just a perfect underscore for me that we're still that original loving person that we came into this life as. And so thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Anna. I appreciate that.
Well, it is my pleasure this morning to
oh,
introduce.
before we get to you, Anna,
Yes.
we are doing Winifred's poem.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
That's all
No,
right.
we love your
Winifred,
excitement.
yeah, I mean, the perfect introduction to this too. Yeah, thank you.
Oh, thank you. And Yella, my poem following your wonderful meditation is hopefully going to embrace everything about what you just said.
Yay.
And I feel as if I'm a living, breathing experiment in gradual, hopefully graceful deterioration on the outside, and not embracing all the possible surgical procedures to defy the aging process, that just going with it naturally and knowing that we are the one inside. So here's my poem. I look into the mirror and observe the slow decline, the lagging elasticity, the sagging of each line. Gravity has had its way. There is no going back. My arms, once taut and glowing, are puckered now and slack. My legs have also had their day of bearing all in shorts. Veins and blotches claim my skin and activate my thoughts. Aging isn't pretty. It demands a certain grit, an attitude that's positive, a plan for keeping fit. Frailty is the curse that kills, so staying strong and agile is vital for stability. There's no time to be fragile. Before the days of spectacles and magnifying aids, folks took in stride their slow demise, accepting beauty fades. Deepening lines and dulling teeth just couldn't be prevented. and surgery to lift one's face had not yet been invented. But now the age of discontent has outgrown all proportion, and we will suffer any pain to rectify distortion. But should we really wipe away these lines of our own etching? Who really cares if years of wear have caused our skin some stretching? Our friends care who we are inside. Forget the outer wrapping, ignoring when our eyelids droop or chins are overlapping. True beauty isn't camouflaged by pesky, sagging skin, but compensated rather by the radiance within. Yes, aging isn't pretty, but we're in it all together. So what if where the sun once shone, we're seeing rougher weather? When looking in the mirror now, I'm greeted by my mother. And frankly, I am grateful that I do not see some other. My favorite aunt once told me in relation to her face that time engraving lines and folds brought softness, ease, and grace. She said that if her face were hard and couldn't leave its mark, 'twould show a rigid kind of life, devoid of wit and spark. I found I use acceptance to diffuse the hands of time, and occasionally some alcohol. So what, is that a crime? Also, there's this little rhyme I've known since I was small. My face, I don't mind it, for I am behind it. The people in front take the fall. So aging slowly, aging well, there is no better crutch, but dying old while living young. Now that's the Midas touch. Thank you.
Wonderful, I loved it.
Thank you.
Yes, I see my new additional wrinkles as my laugh lines, you know, and that's a good thing. I don't have to laugh like this. Well, thank you, that was beautiful.
Yes, that was wonderful. And I guess now it's my turn.
Yes.
Thank you, Winifred. Yes, I am so enthusiastic to introduce all of you to Vanessa Standard, who's speaking to us today. And her bio is on the Tranquilo website if you want to read all about her. And she is very interesting. She's had a very interesting life. But I just want to talk to you about my experience of her. We were in class together at the University of Santa Monica in spiritual psychology. And every time I had a conversation with her, I couldn't wait to hear what she had to say. She's really one of the most eloquent people and very thoughtful and very insightful and has a wonderful delivery. And I'm so glad that she agreed to come and speak to us today. And I've read her book. I enjoyed it very much. She has more than one, but I've read Self-Love is Free. And Vanessa, correct me, I went to Amazon this morning to make sure that it was available if people want to go get it and read it as I did. And it looks like it's free.
Oh,
It looks like
so
you can
strange.
download the Kindle.
You know what? I don't think I don't know that I ever changed it. Was 99 cents. So maybe they do stuff on Amazon. Sorry, I got tears, Anna. That was so beautiful. I don't know. I told you I'm not technologically inclined, and until I have somebody checking on all this stuff with me, I don't know what they do. They send me money from time to time.
Well, just letting all of you know that on Kindle this morning, it looked like Self-Love is free.
Perfect. So I didn't know that because I never changed the price. I just left the Kindle at 99 cents.
Well,
Like just
never
for,
did.
you know, and so
Yeah.
they must have just, from time to time, they'll discount the books on Amazon. So that's what they must have done.
Great. Well, thank you, Vanessa, for coming and being with us today. And I'm happy to introduce you, Vanessa Standard.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you so much. So yes, I have these 3 books, and these 3 books were really, I'll show you the first one. This is Self-Love is Free. And this book was born out of, I think, years and years and years of childhood anger and childhood trauma, and just not knowing what to do my whole life. You know, my sister called me last night and she was talking and she said, man, we hated it when you came home as a teenager. And I'm like, oh no, haven't heard these stories in a while. And she said, you were so angry. First of all, Vanessa, you were never home. So the conversation started out with saying, do you remember that chicken bulima I had? And I said, what, you had a chicken? She said, that just goes to show how much you were never home. And she said, I said, but I remember selling you a chicken. She said, that's right. We went to the swap meet. Grandpa and grandma gave us $1 or some money to go. I bought a chicken. Grandma told me you can't keep that chicken. So, or I bought the chicken. My grandma told me I couldn't keep the chicken. So I sold it to my sister. Like that would be what I would do. Sold it to my sister. And then she went home. So we couldn't keep it at my grandparents' house. She talked my mom into it. And I guess they built a chicken coop. I have no recollection of any of this. And that she goes, it just goes to prove how much you weren't home. So when you used to come home, you were so angry, you would come down and just start yelling and kicking us, our siblings. And I'm like, wow. So just growing up with a lot of abuse, seeing my mom get physically abused, hit on a regular basis, just made for a very angry childhood. Yet I was able to somehow, through the grace of God or spirit or the universe, channel a lot of that energy into being resourceful. Because the other thing was, as a kid at 10 years old, we didn't have any money. And so if I wanted to go to school with hair that wasn't oily and greasy and not get made fun of or stand out, in second grade, I had to figure out how to go get money to buy certain basic things. I used to mow lawns. I sold magazines that used to be on the back of Women's Day magazine. Like years ago, they would have, you could sell magazines and you could sell cards, holiday cards. So I would go door to door at 10 years old and sell these cards, but I was able to make money. I knew how to do certain things. And so I just went for it. But it was interesting that I realized last night talking to my sister that this book was actually born out of me trying to resolve my anger. I didn't realize that until last night. I'm like, wow, this book was born out of anger. Isn't that interesting? It was me actually learning how I could navigate or what to do with it, right? Because all this started at such a young age. And at some point, I think in my 16, 17, 18, something dawned on me. And I just kept getting a message that said, keep going, keep going. And my grandmother was a huge influence in my life. And she always used to say, honey, you'll get there. Just keep going. Put one foot in front of the other. That was always the same answer. So it was like, I was always putting one foot in front of the other. There was never an end to it. But that was great because that's what she told me. There's no end to it. You put one foot in front of the other. So I started to really have to question, how do I heal? And I started out by taking psychology classes at like 18, 19 years old, very basic ones. And I wasn't getting any answers, but I kept going. At some point, I got certified in life coaching. I got certified as a yoga instructor. I've been certified as a massage therapist. And the list goes on and on for the trainings. I haven't really met a course that I don't love. It's just so right now, over the last couple of years, I've gotten really, or actually, let me step back a little bit. I have 2 more books. And this one is Believing with Love. And it's all about like what a love belief is and how do we incorporate love beliefs in our life so that it can just literally take us to that next level of healing. And when I say healing, really what I mean is this USM, University of Santa Monica terminology, which boils down to applying love to any place that hurts inside. And you know what? I'm going to even take this one step further and I'm going to say applying love to the places that hurt outside too. Almost like a buffer, right? Like I've heard people say, protect yourself, put a bubble on, put a bubble around you. And for me, it's almost like applying love to the places inside. And also like, maybe it can be a love bubble so that when people come closer, it's not that fear, but it's some level of love. Right. And so I've done a lot of work to get from the anger to the love. And then just to show you this last book, this is the 3rd book I wrote. It's called The Love Standard. And this one is really a lot about boundaries, and I call them boundaries of love. And it's about a way, boundaries of love are really about ways that we can ask for what we need in our most important and intimate relationships. So how do we create boundaries with people that we love the most and that will actually enhance and deepen our relationships to be even more connected than they were prior to creating a boundary? That's like that's like a loving act for ourselves, but to be able to do it so we're not pissing other people off, that's cool. And so these are some of the things that I have learned, right? Because I think as a child, I just pissed everybody off. There wasn't like, I was just pissing people off left and right, it seemed. And so that was like my lesson. What do I do with this anger? And how do I apply it? And that came with a lot of self-argument, like this can be done, like all these different voices inside your head too. And also figuring out how to navigate those voices. Oh my gosh, we can do this. You can't do this. You're stupid. Oh my God, we can do this. You can't do this. You're worthless. Oh, I think we can do this. You can't do this. You're angry. And just really learning how to navigate through all of those different aspects of hurt and trauma and challenge. And one of the ways that I did that, it's actually like a yoga philosophy. And when I was in my yoga training through Ayurveda, we had an Ayurveda class, and they kept talking about meet yourself where you're at, or meet your client, your yoga student, where they're at in yoga, right? Things shouldn't hurt. So I'm like, wow, there's no anger here. Okay, we're going to gently meet ourselves where we're at. And I was like, wow, what does that mean? I don't even know it. What do you mean meet me where I'm going to meet you at the taco place? Like, I don't get it. And, meet me where I'm at. And what I finally realized a lot of that means is really just learning to have some level of patience or kindness or gentleness, like that beautiful, beautiful poem we just heard. I felt like I was being like, that brought tears, and I felt like I was just being loved, like full acceptance. That poem had me feel full acceptance into my face and my aging and all of it. And I'm realizing like, that's what it's about. How do we get there? And I know that one of the ways we get there is through communities like this. It's also information. It's also asking questions. So I've been working on lately these 3 books. I have 1, 2, 3 more in the works. The second one should be done by, I would imagine, in the next 3 months. I'm actively working on that. That one's all on communication. So basically, one's on self-love, like what is it? One's on beliefs, love beliefs. One is on boundaries. And then this last one is on how do we actually communicate? Like, how do we put it all together? And what words come out? And how's our body language? And, all of these other things. And the essence of that one is actually staying in our own lane so we can pay attention to us, putting the focus on us. And so taking all of these 4 books and have created something, or I'm in the process of creating this thing called self-love face method. And so it's so beautiful. Like, I start hearing, oh my gosh, look in the mirror. Could this have been more like on point today? I'm going, wow, it's like they're introducing my work they're prepping for the introduction of my work, embracing age. Oh my gosh, how amazing. I got really ticked about 10 years ago. I didn't know what was happening. I kept getting an eyeliner, a brand new eyeliner. And every time I put it on, it was smeary on top. And I went and I bought, 5 different brands, and the same thing kept happening. And I finally went and complained to one of my friends, and she says, oh, I'm so sorry to explain what's happening. It's not the eyeliner. I said, what are you talking about? She goes, don't look. Now that we're at this age, our bags are drooped. Like, we're getting bags and our eyelids are drooping and it rubs. And I'm going, are you serious? It is not the eyeliner. It is not the eyeliner. I thought I got 5 bunk eyeliners from 5 different brands. I thought, oh my God. So I'm like, what? And that was like panic attack. The eyeliner's not looking the same anymore. Oh shit, what do I do? You know, like it hit hard. We're women, for God's sakes. We are not men. And it's so different. And so that was like the beginning of it all, because that hurt. And I stopped wearing eyeliner. I don't have any on now. But my point in all of saying all of this is like, how do we start to embrace ourselves at any age when we look in the mirror? And that's really like the core, the essence, the everything to self-love face method. When we go and we look in the mirror, what do we see? What's the first thing you see? Do you look in your eyes and say, wow, I'm like, it's magnificent. I can see through your soul. Or sometimes, you know, I look in the mirror and I'm like, oof, what is that bag? Where did that wrinkle come from? What the hell is going on? And it's like this downward spiral sometimes, honestly, depending on my mood, right? And then we have these noises again that can come in at any given time. And like, how do we navigate through all of it so that we can come out healthier on the other end? So we can come out the way that we heard that poem, like just beautiful, right? How do we come out beautiful? And I'm realizing after being angry for so long and not feeling so angry these days, that it is like that essence of divine love. It really is. You know, patience too, having patience with ourselves is an expression of divine love. And I believe that when we can go look in the mirror and just start to be okay, like life can change. Start out with just being okay, but then starting to pose other questions, like beyond maybe the superficial aspect of what's here, because our eyes are so much deeper. To me, eyes are what it's like honestly, access to somebody's soul. And I mean, anybody who understands or has heard of or has had the experience of going to USM and participating in something called soul gazing. It's literally when two humans look into one another's eyes in silence, and we're just looking for that depth, that connection, that love, you know? So I question, like, when you look in the mirror, what do you see with your eyes? Because it's like a never ending opportunity to access love and connection with self and others. When you listen with your ears, what do you hear? Do you hear self-complaints or do you hear self-acknowledgements? And then how is that going to affect your entire day, your week? And how is whatever we're experiencing when we look in the mirror, how is that affecting our relationships? Because how we're feeling is something that just automatically exudes out. Are we consciously, you know, aware of what we're exuding out? When we smell stuff, like even what do we smell, right? And it might be a metaphor, like when we go out, do we look and smell flowers? Do we look and look for like beauty to smell? Or is it like, are we sucked into the stink of the media? It's like there's so many different aspects, but when we start really tapping into those senses with our face and with ourself, it says so much. Is my face expressing confidence? And is it expressing joy? Or is it expressing anger and disappointment and resentment? And the reason this is so important to me is because I can't meet myself where I'm at or another human being until I actually become consciously aware of what's happening right here. And it's taken me a long time, but I realize it seems like it's here, because here I'm giving my facial expressions, right? I'm either going to be running around and I may not even know it, like pissed off, cranky, and then exuding that out when I'm going around town or even at the grocery store. It's so important to recognize, because especially today with everything going on, it's like, how do we get and access that level of calm and peace within us? It starts with being aware of where we're at. Once we're aware of where we're at, then we can step into, hopefully, or at least practicing. We can step into practice. That's what we can do. We can step into practice, because that's what this is. Just like yoga, this is a practice. We can step into beginning to be okay with whatever's happening. right? And it took a long time to be okay with not feeling great all the time or happy, and realizing that we're not stuck that way, right? These emotions we feel, these moods that we engage in, they're not permanent. They keep going. It's almost like, it reminds me, I just went to go pick up my daughter at the airport. Thank God I live in Orange County, so we have a smaller airport, right? And she had to go get her bags. So I had to go around again, around the airport again, around the airport again. And emotions kind of remind me of going around the airport, right? You're going to go around, you're stuck in resentment, but then you're going to stop and pick somebody up, right? Or you have a stop. And it's almost like that emotion that we have is not permanent. We could literally drop it off at the curb. And the more consciously aware we are of these emotions, the quicker and the faster that we can drop it off in the curb and say, hey, it was great. Thank you so much for the lesson, but you seem really cranky. So I'm going to drop you off. I'm going to drop you off in Hawaiian Airlines. And I think you need to take a trip to Hawaii. Okay. So, and when you're feeling better, hey, you're welcome. You're a part of me. You're a part of me. You can come back. Right. So it's really like being aware that, and it's almost like I'm not trying to get rid of them. It's like a kid, like, hey, here, have a little time out, take a breather. But we can't do that until we become consciously aware. And then once I become consciously aware with whatever's happening, am I angry? Am I resentful? Am I joyous? But well, it's usually those more perceived negative emotions. Am I reacting or am I responding? Am I reacting or responding? Or ultimately, am I like truly connected and I'm relating? And so there's 3 gauges, like 3 ways to measure where I'm at. First, I got to be very conscious of what's happening. And then maybe not. I might be open to meeting myself where I'm at, and I may not. That's also part of meeting myself where I'm at, because a lot of the time this goes like this. I am angry, right? And I have conversations with myself. It's like, again, if any of you guys are USM students, University of Santa Monica students, we learned a modality called Gestalt. And it's really just a way for me to express emotion, right? Say what you need to say, you write it out, you say it out, and it's not held against you. It's just really between me and me. So a lot of the time the conversations will go, oh, I'm so mad. I'm not going to cooperate. I do not want to do that. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. And then other times I'm like, I am so upset. I'm not going to do that. And it's like, really, you got to have an attitude. Like, really, I'm not in the mood today for this, Vanessa. And it goes back and forth. So I'm constantly having to find new, exciting, interesting, and heartfelt ways to meet myself where I'm at. Because until I can meet myself where I'm at, or so it seems, it's very difficult for me to be kind, loving, and exude things like confidence and connection to other people when I'm not feeling grounded myself. And so really, it's like this whole program is like, how do we get grounded? How do we deepen in our relationships, right? How do we go from reacting to completely just relating that connection to another human? And it's possible. It is so possible. A lot of this stuff has to do with every single day, a little bit more, taking the time to simply be aware of what's happening right here when we go look in the mirror, because it all starts here. And the other really fun thing about this program, and this is a fun thing for me, are these tools. So these are called gua sha tools. And I'm not sure if anybody is familiar with these beauties, okay? But here's the deal. So along with our face, like when we look in the mirror, what do we see? Well, there's things that we don't see, okay? We don't necessarily see 57 muscles in our face, in our head, and in our neck, and how those 57 muscles affect all the other parts of our body. How these 57 muscles can actually access acupuncture points, acupressure points, and with the use of these tools can increase the microcirculation in our face by about 400%. Do you know what that means? Because I just found out. it is just such an easy thing. So it's like using these tools. And it feels so good. And this is a rose quartz tool. It starts to decrease the appearance of wrinkles and creates healthier skin naturally. I discovered this because I'm not a person who's makeup. I love makeup. Don't get me wrong. I love to buy makeup. I just have a hard time putting it on later. So it's like, I love buying makeup more than anything, hair stuff, girl stuff, right? And then I don't do anything with it. These guys, I'll actually pick them up. All you need is a little bit of oil, and it's literally smoothing out, increasing that microcirculation in your skin by about 400%. And it feels so good. So again, it's called gua sha. Gua sha, G-U-A-S-H-A. Gua sha, G-U-A-S-H-A. Gua sha is from traditional Chinese medicine. Back in the day, this was not sexy. Okay. And I even went and I just had an appointment with my, my eye doctor, and she's Chinese, and she's like, ooh, gua sha. And I'm like, what? She's like, my grandma did that. And it was not sexy. Right. So gua sha back in the day would actually be done on the back of the neck, just like this, using this chin. And what it does is it brings old stagnant blood to the surface, and it starts cleaning your blood, increases that microcirculation in your body by so much. And once we can increase the microcirculation in our body, we start to really heal whatever that physical ailment is, or it's more likely that we're going to heal that physical ailment. So the skin literally just starts clearing up on its own, like dark circles start to disappear on their own. And again, I discovered gua sha through the traditional, the way that it was meant to be done, because it was for migraines and for headaches and everything else. So I got these tools to work on a migraine, not to get rid of a wrinkle. I start doing this, the gua sha on the back of the head, but think about it, guys, 57 muscles in head, neck, and face, that affects a lot. And so I start working the back of my head, and guess what? I'm not getting migraines. And as a default, all of a sudden I'm like, wait a second. There's no way. I had a wrinkle there and I know it. And I look back at my phone and I'm like, there's that wrinkle. And why isn't it there? This makes no sense. I was working back here. Well, that's in massage school. One of the things they say is it's all connected. I've heard the same thing in yoga. It's all connected. But sometimes I don't get it until I get it, So these beauties are like so much fun. And so that's really like the essence of self-love face yoga, is this facial gua sha, because we're going to physically work on what we see in the mirror, right? Because it's part of it. And not just that, like whether we age or we're getting older or not getting older, exercise is still important, right? And yes, I agree. It's so much more important to us as we continue to age in life. And so we work out our muscles, we work out our arms, we work out our legs, but we don't work out our face. And so that's one of the things that this is all about. It's like remembering those parts that have been neglected. We didn't even know they were being neglected. But if we have 57 muscles in our face, head, and neck, it's very important. And so really, that's the essence of self-love face method. I'm sure that there's so much that I am not sharing, because this can go on, but I know I have a limited amount of time, and I know that we're getting to the 11 o'clock point. So maybe we can have questions, or I'm not sure how all of this works. But
Thank you. I love it. And excuse me, you can actually, you can find those at Ross and Marshall's, very inexpensive, and they have them as rollers too now.
Yeah.
And I started to use it, excuse me, and I haven't been consistent, but I am going to be consistent.
It feels good too. It feels
Yeah, it
good.
does.
Like watching a movie or watching TV, I can, just do it.
I love it. I love the message. It's so true.
That's great. You know, I've been seeing these things around too. They were recommended as gifts, and I even bought some as gifts, and I didn't know how to use them. They're so pretty though. They're really beautiful to look at. So thank you. That was great.
You're welcome.
Any other thoughts or questions? Yeah, you're just always wonderful to listen to, experience. You have this just beautiful energy about you and your humor and your way of putting things. I really enjoy.
Oh, thank you. That's the part I'm going to add to the program. I'm currently actually learning and getting trained as a laughter therapist. And I'm realizing, because it's a way to heal without having to go like down the tube, we can kind of take people up through humor and laughter. And it's amazing the health benefits of laughter. I had no idea.
It's fascinating, even just smiling, your body uses different muscles, right? And when we have tears from laughter versus sadness, the actual chemistry and the tears are different under a microscope. So just fascinating stuff.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I love that your books are little and they're a lot of fun, so they're easy to go through.
Thank you.
For those of us that are in book studies and a lot of other things, but thank you, Vanessa. Thank you for joining us today.
Welcome. You're very welcome.
All the best to you, and thank you for that wonderful information.
Oh, thank you. You're very welcome. I'm glad you enjoyed.
Yes. I love the way our day has had a thread of aging gracefully, which this group definitely is doing, because we're staying active, right? We're staying active, we're staying connected. We live in a beautiful place. We're grateful. All these beautiful reasons, and appreciating and being grateful for being where we are now in our life. And I know I have found it really helpful to have new role models like Elon Musk's mother, who looks amazing, you know, or Helen Mirren. Is yeah, that's who I want to look at. You know, that's where I want to be. Did you have your hand up, John?
Yeah, I just wanted to reflect on today's Not Church. Sandy and I haven't been attending regularly, so we've missed a lot of very good presentations, I'm sure. But I'm just thinking today really felt special. I mean, the meditation was profound to me, and the poem was just beautiful. I'm a guy, I don't wear makeup, but you know, I agree with it 100%. And then Vanessa's presentation, she seems to be a combination of personalities I've known in my past life and current life. This bundle of energy just coming across in a humorous, forgiving, wonderful way. And I really got a lot out of that. So I would say this is a 5-star program today. Thank you so much.
Yes. Yay.
Thank you.
Yay.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, thank you for having such a wonderful day today, because you've all contributed to it with your beautiful energy and talents and creativity. And I'm happy to be here, grateful to be here. So I want to share some announcements with you. We
Rita have a question. Oh,
Yeah, I did.
I'm sorry, I couldn't see you on my screen. Okay, great.
This is Rita and Richard, and we don't come down to Baja that much. We've had a lot of trauma in our life, believe me. And honestly, what you're talking about today, exactly. I've been going to those spots of healing, and I really feel that I don't have to talk about things that aren't going right now. I can just let them go, or wait. If I wait in my, like you said, and if you're patient, it usually turns out better than you thought. Or just let these little things slide. Don't surface them. And I'm so glad that you and the anger that you had, and I had some major trauma last year that had a lot of anger too. And I've been going through it and feeling so much better, and everything that you've said that I've been concentrating on, plus my yoga and my breathing has helped. So just want to acknowledge all those things are just fabulous and wonderful, and we have to keep trying and continually it's like exercising
Yes.
every day, every day.
Yeah.
So Richard, did you want to, my husband and Richard and I have done some work with Patch Adams, the Dr. Clown, and I don't know if you're aware of him. Have you heard of him?
No.
Well,
I'm
he
writing it down.
promotes healing through joy and laughter.
Oh, wow.
And we wanted to make sure that perhaps you would connect with him. Honey, did you want to talk to? Okay, about about his viewpoints, and they had a movie on him called Patch Adams with Robin Williams played Patch Adams, but he's a real person.
Oh,
And
wow. Okay.
and we have gone over to the Kosovo War a long time ago in 1999, and we visited the camps at that time, and we brought joy and laughter into the camps with the children and through Patch Adams and his Dr. Clowns and us. And it was just, believe me, the experience for us was just as profound as the children and the people there. And they were bombing right over the other side of the hill while we were in there. And we were promoting love and laughter and wearing red noses. Did you know that just putting on a red nose when you're in the car and someone flipping you off or someone's doing something, that changes everything?
No, I didn't know that, but I'm going to get a red nose now, I think.
So just a couple
Shape of
things.
heart.
But anyway, just wanted to say that that connection with Patch would be profound. And Marilyn Helgeson, Richard Madeira, and myself, Rita Powell, we've all been to the camps, and we all had experience with Patch and changed our life profusely. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. See, I don't see everyone on my screen. Anyone else? I don't want to. Oh, perfect. Carol, go ahead. Oh, you're muted, Carol. Carol, you're muted.
I just want to echo what everyone else said, that I really have enjoyed everything from beginning to end. I've been away from not church for a while because I have another commitment at the second Sundays. So, and it wasn't this week. So I was really, really happy to be able to be here and see everybody. But I wanted to echo the fact that everything today really hit the spot that my being needed. Thank you. From the poetry from the welcome to the speaker, to the poetry, to the meditation, everything was just perfect for me. Thank you.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Yay, anyone else? Nope. Okay, good. All right, so with that, yes, it's been an amazing beginning of our Sunday. We have the rest of the wonderful day to go and an amazing week coming up that we can create whatever we want with our thinking and what we say to ourselves in the mirror this coming week. We can begin practicing what we learned today. So I just want to share with you a retreat that's coming up, a celebration. It's a summer solstice celebration of sisterhood, and it's going to be on June 21st. It's a day of celebrating women, and we're going to have activities, music, fun, insight, celebration, and really celebrating our divine femininity. And it's going to be on the actual summer solstice day, which is the longest day of summer. And it's coming up in a couple of weeks. So those of you that haven't signed up, go ahead and join us. It's only $33, and it's going to include lunch, and we're going to have our celebration from 10:30 to 3:30 that day. So it's going to be a long day, and it's myself, Rosalie, and Cynthia Lorray that are putting it together. So come and celebrate and have a wonderful time with us. And we're looking forward to planning. I'm sorry, and for more information, you can go to our website at tranquilobaja.com for more details, or contact Rose or I as well, but we would love to have you there.
Does Vanessa have a website?
I do. It's vanessastandard.com. And it is in the works. I'm in the works. I'm really at the beginning stages of getting this stuff out.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other announcements?
No, just thank you all for participating and being here. And just keep checking tranquillobaja.com because there's other programs and there's announcements and there's book clubs and other things that meet regularly. So make sure you check the tranquillobaja.com website as well. And just, it's been a delight to be with you today. Thank you all. Your energy creates the program and helps us put together programs. So we're always welcoming suggestions for anything you'd like to see. So let us know. Thanks again.
Thank you. Thank you. And Rose and I are in the process of seeing if we can, have a summer potluck where we can actually get together and meet up and enjoy each other's company and the beautiful environment here. So more to come on that as well. Thank you everyone for being here today and for contributing to such a beautiful hour. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.